Monster vs. Godzilla, one of the coolest Godzillas out there, and one of the most powerful, if you will. So, today in this video, I'm going to put our King to the Monsters to the test. Can he possibly survive, in my opinion, the best kaiju fighting games that I have ever played? That of being GigaBash. So, Godzilla's bracket is Concrete, Roanna, Wooly, Skorak, Balzar, Gigaman, Gorogong, Pipajurus, Thundertross, Zyva, Rojak, Rawa, and Mechajurus. So Godzilla will be fighting 13 kaiju. Yay, I'm going to love all this editing. Before we do anything, let's see what Goshi's capable of, shall we?
So, Godzilla's best feat in strength is throwing around the 141,000 metric ton Ghidorah. Alright, let's see what his best feat in durability is. So, he survived the meteor that killed all the dinosaurs and just shrugged it off, okay. So Godzilla is actually very intelligent, knowing all the locations of where all the kaijus are around the world. And Godzilla can be very close to humans, which is a very low amount of he actually bonded with, that being Dr. Serizawa and Ford Brody. And Godzilla is surprisingly fast. It says on his kaiju profile, or a profile, that he can go up to 300 miles per hour. Now on to abilities. Godzilla has a pretty wide range of abilities, if you ask me. Like his atomic breath, well, duh, everybody knows that if you're a Godzilla fan. And his atomic pulse used on the Prime Muto, his thermal vision, and danger senses, possibly. And in his supercharged form, he can do a even stronger pulse that gets everywhere instead of out of his dorsal fins. So, I will answer the question, can Monster vs. Godzilla survive GigaBash? Okay, Godzilla versus Concrete. Absolutely zero difficulty. Now Godzilla moves on to Roanna. So all Godzilla has to do in this fight is just one atomic breath. But he can't just do it because Roanna has the ability of summoning her very small and very tall and bulky minions and teleportation ability. So how this fight would play out is Roanna would use her teleportation ability and keep hitting Godzilla, and it would just kind of annoy him and kind of hurt him at the same time. But after like 6 or 7 times of her hitting Godzilla, he grabs her and does an atomic breath into her face, and the battle is over, and Godzilla wins with low difficulty. Godzilla wouldn't mess with Wooly, so just look at Wooly right here. Now on to Skorak. So, Skorak, he can get knives out of his eyes, which is very creepy and disturbing for a children's game, but wait, it's rated teen, but is it a children's game? Anyways, before I continue the video, do me a little favor and subscribe. It would really make me happy, because you guys apparently aren't really doing it. I checked. And you aren't subscribing. That makes me sad. You don't want a kid to be sad, don't you? So, Skorak has the ability to throw this shell-like skull at his foes, and it explodes, which could cause a little bit or a lot of damage to Godzilla. And in the GigaBash lore, it says that Skorak is super intelligent. But Goshi does have experience with a mollusk-like titan, who is very weak. That means you, Scylla. So I could see Godzilla winning this battle with low to mid-high diff. Alright, Balzar, let's see what you got. So basically a knockoff version of Anguirus, but much more agile. And also
R.I.P. Anguirus. You did good.
Could have been me, not him! It's not fair!
So, in my eyes, Goji wins with mid difficulty. Alright, Gigaman, let's see if you're capable of defeating the G. So, Gigaman is basically a gigantic superhero out of his prime. So, here's how I think the fight would go. Gigaman would use his martial arts against him, use like 4 beams on Godzilla, but it still wouldn't be enough. And I think Godzilla just like 1 beam in the chest, like stopping the beam that came, like shoving it back in, like that beam clash. You know what I'm talking about, right? So, Godzilla, in my eyes, would win with mid-high difficulty. Alright, Gorokong, let's see if you and your ugly self can beat the king of the monsters. So, Gorogong is a combination between Kong and the Prime Muto, and Godzilla has experience with both of these monsters. And if Gorogong punches hard enough, he could possibly break a few of Godzilla's ribs. So Godzilla with high difficulty beats Gorogong. So Godzilla now is going up against Pipidurus. So Pipidurus can possibly teleport or turn invisible. I don't know what it is. And shoot like these plasma-like balls in a huge plasma orb from his claws, sword things, and fly, kind of. Wait, yeah, it's fly. So Godzilla can just see him in the air, do a couple atomic breaths, tackle him. Pipidurus would stab him a few times and shoot a few lasers. So Godzilla wins with high mid difficulty. Okay, Thundertross's huge sword and lightning strikes. The lightning strikes wouldn't do much, but his sword could cut very deep into Godzilla's skin. So with very high difficulty, Godzilla somehow beats Thundertross with an atomic breath, or just getting a hold of his sword, getting it away, just absolutely trashes the bot. That's how I think it would go. Okay, this time Godzilla would have to use his pulse. At his most powerful supercharged form, his skin would be cut so deep in that force field that Zyva has would bounce right back. So Godzilla with ridiculously high difficulty beats Zyva. Godzilla stops here. It's just with this guy's abilities and different kinds of attacks, it's just Rojak would beat this guy. And if Godzilla did make it to Rawa, it's just Rawa's abilities, it's just his flight, his pulse, it's just Rawa would still win. So there you have it. Godzilla made it far, and yet so far to lose. Please like and subscribe, and happy 2026, and have a great day.